This is going to be a tour of the Internet of Water project at Duke University's infrastructure for Geoconnex.us, which is our water, which is our linked water data infrastructure project. So the first thing I'd recommend doing is just navigating your browser to geoconnex.us. That will redirect you to this page, which is really just a front page on top of the GitHub repository that manages this project. And this homepage will give a lot of good information about why we need persistent identifiers for hydrologic features. Include links to some presentations and literature that describe it in more detail, and has a link to guidance for contributing persistent identifiers, which I will show you momentarily. So this page really describes in detail how to do it, and it's really pretty easy. But first I'll give you a tour of the repository. If you go to the GitHub repository, Internet of Water /geoconnex.us, you can see the code page. There are a few folders here. Really, the one you need to know about is called namespaces. So namespaces has folders for every organization or key data set that has persistent identifiers. So you see Kuwaze has one, EPA has one, USGS has one, the New Mexico Water Data Initiative has one, and the Water Data Exchange of the Western States Water Council has one. And so you can see in here, if you go into each namespace, the contributors have made a README that shows, these what the persistent identifiers are supposed to map. So in this case, this is what USGS has done for the hydrologic units. So it mints geoconnex.us /USGS /hydrologic unit whatever for the HUCs. And if you were to actually go to these links, you'll see them redirect. So this does not say geoconnex.us. It says we're at the page for the HUC to the Upper Mississippi region, which is HUC Unit 07. So that's that. You'll notice in each namespace folder a CSV file. That is how you submit persistent identifiers, and that's all you really need is to submit a README like I just showed you and a CSV file like this, where you have a list of IDs that you want that correspond to the target websites you want those IDs to redirect to, and a little description and your contact address if you so choose. So to do this, all you need to do is fork the repository, which you have to have a GitHub account to do. And sure, we can just sign in quickly. So all you need to do is fork it, which I've done already. So I'll just go to that one. And what you would do in your fork is simply add a file. So first, you'd in namespaces make a new namespace. So Kyle, we'll call it, and then we'll just add a README that says, Kyle's persistent identifiers. In reality, you would put some more detail there, and there's actually a template for this, but we'll just do that. And then you would upload your CSV. There's a template for that CSV that you can use. that is on the contributing page. So that's here, and you can see it, all the fields that you can have. The only required fields are the first four, again, ID and target. But you can also add latitude and longitude if it's point data, if these sites have locations on Earth. And then there's query string options if you want, if your website that you're redirecting to has content negotiation or serves a different version of the data, like an XML version and a text version or a JSON version, depending on a query string. You can add that if you want, but that is not required. So that's fine. I'll also point out our special two namespaces. We have one for NHD plus V2, because we're using NHD plus V2 as sort of the foundational hydrography for the Geoconnex infrastructure for now. The Geoconnex NHD plus V2 identifiers point to the network linked data index versions. So if you're familiar with the network linked data index, that is what we're using for this namespace. So that's NHD plus V2. The other special namespace is ref, which are the reference features I talked about at the ARA talk. We've got reference features for census administrative geographies like counties, states, places, statistical areas, urbanized areas. We also have them for HUC units, so HUC level 2 through 10, and public water systems like in CIDWIS, and national aquifers, as well as gauges, so all gauge locations are currently in there. And we're working on adding others like water bodies, wetlands, and dams. So that's all we have to do there. And then finally I'll show you where the reference features point to. So we can go to a HUC2, let's pick this one. So you see all these identifiers for HUC2 through 22. So you click this link, again, it redirects from geoconnex.us/something to this info.geoconnex something. And here's a landing page for HUC2 that anyone can link to using this identifier. We generate these landing pages with PyGeo API, which is an open source Python server that serves out the OGC API features standard, which is cool because you can basically feed it a geospatial file with many features, like a GeoJSON feature collection or a geopackage file, something like that. And it will generate a landing page for each individual feature. So that can be a good option if your organization doesn't currently serve out individual landing pages for your data. That's a quick and easy way to do so. And it also generates a GeoJSON version of each individual feature that can be interacted with via software programs. And it creates a JSON LD markup as well, which is what search indexes index and is what the eventual Geoconnex crawler will create information from and create the knowledge graph from. So that's pretty much a tour of the whole system. So again, just go to geoconnex.us for a nice entry point. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out via submitting a GitHub issue. And we've got a lively community going on, a fair bit of discussion, and hopefully I'll see you there. So thanks for your time.